Ilyushin Il-62, the Soviet Union's first long-range jet airliner. The Ilyushin Il-62 was a pioneering long-range narrow-body jet airliner developed by the Soviet Union in the 1960s. It holds a special place in aviation history as the first long-haul jetliner built in the Eastern Bloc, designed to compete with Western aircraft such as the Boeing 707 and the Douglas DC-8. The Il-62 marked a major step forward in Soviet civil aviation, combining extended range with international capabilities, and it remained in service for decades. Though eventually eclipsed by more efficient and modern designs, the Il-62's rugged construction and impressive range made it a workhorse for the Soviet Union and several Allied nations. The development of the Ilyushin Il-62 began in the late 1950s as the Soviet Union sought a jet-powered replacement for the turboprop Tu-114, which had been used for long-distance flights. The goal was to design a jetliner capable of flying long-haul international routes, with a range of over 10,000 kilometers and the ability to carry more than 150 passengers. The Il-62 took its first flight on January 3, 1963, and entered service with Aeroflot, the Soviet national airline, in 1967. From a design perspective, the Il-62 bore similarities to the British Vickers VC-10, most notably its rear-mounted engine configuration and T-tail layout. The aircraft was powered by 4 engines mounted in pairs on either side of the rear fuselage, which allowed for a quieter cabin and reduced risk of foreign object damage during takeoff and landing from unpaved or debris-laden runways, a common issue in remote Soviet airports. The Il-62 was a long-range aircraft, capable of flying over 10,000 kilometers, depending on the variant. It was equipped with Kuznetsov NK 8-4 engines in early versions and Soloviev D-30KU engines in later models, such as the Il-62M, which improved performance, fuel efficiency, and reliability. Key specifications of the Il-62M included cruising speed, 850 to 900 km per hour, passenger capacity 168 to 198 passengers, depending on configuration, range, up to 10,000 kilometers with reduced payload. Its robust design made it ideal for operating in extreme conditions and from less developed airports. It featured manual flight controls, heavy-duty landing gear, and strong structural components, all hallmarks of Soviet engineering. The Il-62 served as the flagship long-haul aircraft of Aeroflot for decades and was also used by the governments and airlines of many Eastern Bloc countries, including East Germany, Poland, LOT, Czechoslovakia, CSA, Cuba, Cubana de Aviation, and North Korea, Air Koryo. Several aircraft were configured as VIP transports, used by Soviet and Allied leaders, including Leonid Brezhnev and Fidel Castro. The aircraft became a symbol of Soviet technological achievement, regularly flying to destinations in Europe, Asia, Africa, and even North America. It helped bridge the vast distances of the Soviet Union and established regular international routes to the West. Critics of the aircraft pointed to its high fuel consumption, complex engine maintenance, and lack of automation as significant drawbacks, especially when compared to more modern Western airliners in the 1980s and 1990s. The Il-62 remained in service longer than many of its contemporaries, with some aircraft flying well into the 2000s. Air Koryo, North Korea's state airline, was among the last to operate the Il-62M in passenger service. As of the 2020s, the aircraft is largely retired from commercial use, though some remain in government and military roles, particularly in Russia and North Korea. Despite its decline, the Il-62 left a lasting legacy. It was the first Soviet long-range jetliner, a symbol of Soviet international presence, one of the first aircraft in the world to feature rear-mounted quad engines in a commercial layout. The Ilyushin Il-62 was a technological milestone for the Soviet Union and an icon of Cold War-era aviation. It carried millions of passengers across continents, extended the reach of Aeroflot and other Soviet-aligned airlines, and helped define Soviet air travel for decades. While eventually outpaced by more efficient Western aircraft, the Il-62's engineering strength, long-range capability, and historical significance ensure its place as one of the most important aircraft in the history of Russian and global aviation. Brought to you by Infinite Knowledge from Maroli Edutech. Thanks for viewing this presentation. Please be good enough to share and subscribe to our channel.